What's up, good people, man? Hope everybody's doing good, man. Um, just wanted to, I guess I wanted to share real quick. Ain't got much to talk about. Well, I do have some to talk about. Some interesting stuff. You know, I like to react to stuff. Um, I do want to tell y'all this, man. I thought I was gonna die today. I had a migraine from hell. I had a migraine that was hurting me since last night. I couldn't even sleep. I didn't fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep until this morning, going into the afternoon, that I actually got some rest. I felt like there was a hammer, like somebody had a hammer and chiseling into my head. I'm not gonna lie to you. Uh, it started from the side of my head. It went to the front. I do suffer from migraine, so it's something I'm kind of used to. But this migraine last night felt like it didn't want to go away, and it was pounding my head all night. It's slowly going away now. It has moved to the side of my face, so it's right around this region right here, right now. A part of it went to my eye, and then came back over here. So I'm trying to not get myself too hyped up, because I'm not sure if it's my blood pressure or what it is. But I feel like a brain like a blood vessel in my head was going to explode earlier. Oh man, it's not easy, boy. It's not easy. Slowly getting my strength back. Um, Eating fruits and vegetables. Not too much veg. I haven't steamed any vegetables yet. Um, I wanted to talk about the Stargate stuff, man. Stargate stuff is really interesting. If you ever seen the Stargate movie, talked about Egypt, of course, and how the rumors that aliens, aliens started the civilization. They found a Stargate in Egypt, and transported that Stargate into Colorado. And from that Stargate, they figured it out. Then they started traveling the. Oh Lord, I almost choked. The multiverse, or the known universe. Um, Very interesting stuff. For me, that was like the end of it. I didn't get into different shows. I used to see and hear about it, but I know they had these different shows, and so I recently started looking them up. And I heard about Stargate Atlantis and Stargate Universe and SG-1, and how they were interacting with different species. Some were malevolent. What's the other word? Some were, is it malevolent? I'm saying it right? Some of them were nice. Some of them were not. Some of them are highly aggressive. Some of them are more chill and laid back. All right? The species that I thought was kind of interesting. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but they met Well, yeah, I guess a few of them. They had a relationship with the Asgardians. The Asgardians turned out to be Greys. Um, they met a group called the Ancients. This was an ancient um, humanoid species that was really really old, and they were the ones that created the Stargates millenniums ago. And they were the ones they were, according to the show, they were seeding life on different planets, and then for them, they would transport themselves, or I guess communicate with these other planets through stargates. I guess think of it like a airport, all right? But for them to travel, so that they can keep in touch with all the different um, human and fruit stuck in my teeth. All the human life forms that they had created, and on these different species, on these different planets, keep in touch with them. See, I guess check on them, see how they're doing. That way, they don't have to travel so much with ships. They would just, like walking through a Stargate. But the interesting thing to me was they end up, the ancients, they ended up creating a subgroup that became known as the Wraith, or the Waith, or the Wraith, I think. And they became super aggressive, and they started to then feed on the humanoid species, or they started to feed on the humanoids life forms that they had created or seeded in these different planets. Then they started to clone themselves, and then they declared war against their maker, which is the ancients. So they then started to fight and have wars with this vampiric race. It's on the show, man. I'm going off of what I see and what I hear. So it was a vampiric race was created by this ancient group, and they end up going to war with them. So in the midst of the show, these characters, they then met and had interactions with these aggressive species that were feeding on humans, literally sucking the life force from them. I just thought it was interesting. There's a lot more other aggressive species that they've encountered. Ironically, on the show, I think the Asgardians went extinct. There's another group that they talked about. I guess there was the four major civilizations. But the Asgardians were one of them, and I guess the Asgardians at the time went extinct. Now, supposedly, they said humans are supposed to be the fifth race to join their council. All right, humans are supposed to be the fifth race. All right, and we're humans, so we have 5 fingers, 5 thumbs. 5 toes, 5 fingers. All right. That's what identifies us as being human, as being man. All right. Anything more or anything less is not human. All right. And I don't mean that in no disrespectful way. Just thought it was interesting. I said it before. If you get a chance, the most interesting movie to me if you don't have time to watch all those movies, is Stargate Continuum. It's very, very interesting, very, very telling. It explains a lot. It explains a whole lot. To me, it does. It explains a lot. If you watch that, if you look at it metaphysically, things would make sense. You get an idea of your ancient Egyptian gods. You get an idea of your any gods from any time period, any deities from any culture, civilizations. You would understand that these were just ancient aliens with advanced technology manipulating mankind. All right? And then making themselves gods with a small g. All right? But if you watch that movie, it'll make sense. Just look at it metaphysically. And then look at the world and when things are happening around the world, and then you'd be like, it makes sense. Then you would understand cloning and why people don't think for themselves, and why you hear about genocide, and why you hear about people that are the same race turning on each other. It doesn't make sense, but then it would make sense because of advanced technology, cloning, manipulation, spiritual oppression, things of that nature. It would make sense. All right? Look at the movie Metaphysically. All right? I mean, with like some insight. Just look at it with a more deeper meaning. Not just an entertainment movie. They'd be like, ah. Then you might get an epiphany. You know, hit you. Be like, okay, that makes sense. This makes sense. That's why this is. All right? Then it would kind of make sense. I hope I'm not confusing you with all the sense stuff. All right? I'm not trying to juggle your mind around. But, yeah, but check it out, though. Look at it metaphysically. And see it for yourself. All right? In the end, we should all see for ourselves. We should all see the truth for ourselves. Nobody has to lie to you. Nobody has to trick you. You should see it for yourself. Or you're telling yourself, I don't have a soul. Are you telling yourself that? You're going to tell yourself you don't have a soul? So that means you have no desire to ascend. You have no desire to see heaven or hell. You just want to cease to exist. Peace. To my fellow humans, be good.